Well, all right, let's talk about the Philadelphia Eagles, who the sky is falling now. They've lost their first game in 20 games, so I guess they stink now and everything's bad. No, obviously this is still a very good football team, but we can still talk about maybe some offensive struggles. You know, if you look at EPA per play, last season they were the sixth best team in the league EPA per play wise offensively. This year they're at 17. Obviously, only 5 games in, a lot will change, but that's still notable. So let's talk about what went wrong against, admittedly, a very good defense and why they ended up with their only loss on the season. First, we have to talk about the play you see on your screen. It's going to be a deep shot right here to Devonta Smith. And what's really interesting is the Eagles had a bombs away strategy. They were constantly pushing the ball down the field in this game. Hurts is going to take the snap. He's going to look, and on this play, you totally see why. Smith is wide open. And I'm assuming, here's the thing. Everyone has made the thing of, they want to prove that they can win by throwing the ball down the field. There is 0% chance that is why they had a game plan. Their game plan is what they think is the best way to beat the Denver Broncos. It's not to get likes on Twitter, right? Like, obviously. And here you see, it's a good catch. It's a great throw, and they're able to get that big completion right there. So on a 3rd and 17, too. So, again, for whatever reason, they felt like this was an opportunity that they had, and it happened a few times in this game. Part of it was Denver was kind of playing as though they're going to, leave one-on-one matchups on the outside. Like you see here, this was another one. This was a long Saquon Barkley touchdown pass. Weirdly, so I was watching I forget which game it was, but it was in the late window, and when it ended, they did like the play of the game from this week, and this was the play of the game from the week, which it's a great play, but also that's weird that was number one from a losing team. Anyway, Saquon Barkley, hey, he still looks explosive in the passing game, so clearly he still has some juice, and they were able to make that play work. And also a couple that ultimately didn't count. This one looked like a catch live, ends up being ruled incomplete, out of bounds. Also this one, which just was a 4th and 4 late in the game, would have put them in field goal range, had a chance to take the lead, but an illegal formation penalty. So again, the sky is falling, but had they just simply not had the illegal formation, then they get the big completion and they're able to, probably win the game. So, yeah, definitely had some hits. They also had a lot of misses. In fact, let's just run through them. You're going to see here, Hurts and tight end, I believe that was Dallas Goedert, just not quite on the same page, not fully sure when you should cut. This looked like Hurts threw it just a bit too far on that one. Maybe he threw it out of bounds intentionally. I don't know. This one, again, not sure when his receiver is going to turn the head around. This one, of course, this is the one that everyone was talking about with him and A.J. Brown. Looks like A.J. Brown slows down on the route, which is something I didn't notice when I watched it the first time. I made a video and I sort of said, Hurts got let one get away with from him. But here it does seem more like A.J. Brown slowed down, which is what was the issue. But again, you got to get on the same page here. So if you're going to have a downfield passing attack be part of your game plan, you have to have the chemistry down. And Hurts usually has chemistry so good with these receivers. It was very weird that they didn't have it down in this game, and was a big part of why things ultimately started to falter. Because heading over here, again, that was part of the strategy, and they were getting guys open. And so you can kind of understand why that was the strategy. But it does sting a little bit when you usually have such a good running game. The running game has struggled a bit this season. But on this play, you see when Hurts takes the snap, he's going to flip this to Saquon Barkley. And look at this running lane Saquon has in front of him. He was not getting these. He has not been getting these running lanes so far early on this season. But watch him shoot through that gap, and he's going to pick up a nice completion there, or nice rush there, I should say. He only ran the ball 5 other times. So while he didn't have a ton in those other 5 rushes, that's also kind of like how the running game works. Is you get 3 yards, and then 20 yards, and that's a good running game, right? So again, they came in with a strategy. They thought the strategy would work. It had opportunities to work, but ultimately, it wasn't enough in this one. Now, this was another way that they were trying to win. So not just the downfield stuff, but okay, if the Broncos are playing a lot of man coverage, trying to man up against your receivers because they have very good corners, well, what do you do in this situation? Well, Hurts is going to take the snap, and a lot of times you want to look away from Pat Surtain, who is their number 1 corner. So, okay, Devonta Smith is open in this spot. Watch, Hurts makes a nice throw. Smith is able to make a nice run after the catch right here, and they pick up a solid completion there. So, okay, that's good. That's what you like to see, right? They also wanted to get the ball in A.J. Brown's hands. This was, I think, a smart play to try to get the ball in his hands, and again, while I kind of earlier was like, they're not going out there trying to impress people on Twitter or prove they can throw the ball or anything like that. They probably are trying to a little bit just get the ball in A.J. Brown's hands. You got to keep your star receiver happy, right? So here it's going to be Smith setting up a pick for A.J. Brown. Again, just size-wise, you'd think you'd often do that the other way. But you know what? It can still work here. Watch as, Hurts is going to take the snap. He's able to hit A.J. Brown. Brown gets the first down right there. Okay, there you go. Getting the ball in your star receiver's hands. Hey, it's not a bad idea to get the ball in A.J. Brown's hands regardless of if he's putting out cryptic, social media posts, because he's a good player and this play worked. But there were also things like this where, we talked about the miss with A.J. Brown and Hurts earlier, but this was just the drive before. It's a 3rd down and 6. It's a one-on-one matchup again. A.J. Brown, Pat Surtain one-on-one. This is the reigning defensive player of the year. And Hurts takes the snap and tries to get the ball to Surtain. Look at Surtain be able to knock that one away. So that's a part of it as well, is you're trying to get A.J. Brown the ball, but you have the defensive player of the year going up one-on-one against him. So that makes things difficult. Again, you kind of don't think about these little things. If they hit a couple more of those deep shots, then this looks like an awesome offensive day. But ultimately, since they didn't, you pay attention to everything that went wrong. And Surtain played really well. That's a part of it. You got to tip your cap to the Denver Broncos. The good news is you don't have to play Pat Surtain again unless things go really right, because that would mean that these two teams play each other in the Super Bowl. Also, we saw some blitzing. This is an interesting thing that I do think teams have maybe keyed in on a little bit. Tampa Bay does this against Philadelphia, and it's part of how they slow down the Eagles, is if you blitz, that can get the Eagles just off the rhythm. They're such a rhythm-based team of, run the ball and then run these play actions and things like that. If you can send pressure, sometimes that can be a way to just completely disrupt things. You see, I've highlighted it's Hufanga on this play who is going to be blitzing. And what's interesting is, so Hurts doesn't have protection set to block Hufanga, which is okay. That is sometimes how you run things. There's a play action to the right, and I honestly wonder if that's part of why they're blitzing here. Sometimes you can kind of get how a team operates and try and get the right play call for the offensive play call, which is exactly what Denver has right here. So watch how when Hufanga gets straight through, he is straight through to Jalen Hurts. So again, exact play call to have a guard pulling to the right to help sell the play action. Hufanga, there's just no one to block him. He's able to get through. Is that Hurts' fault? Not really. Sometimes that's just what happens. Things go wrong. It's football. It's a good defensive play call. Let's just give the defender and the defense credit. But Hurts does have to notice this. He does have to see what's going on and try and figure out a way to minimize damage. And to be honest, he does do a pretty good job at that. He's able to get the ball incomplete. Even if Brown makes the catch, it's not going to go for a ton of yards. So at least he gets the ball out of there. I have no issue with that from Jalen Hurts. But these are types of plays that if you want to blame the offensive coordinator, you could if you wanted to. Again, I don't know. Ultimately, the players have to execute that A.J. Brown, Jalen Hurts misplay. That's not on the coordinator, right? Some of those deep shots that were open, that's not on the coordinator. They had a game plan, and they didn't execute the game plan great. So I can't sit here and say that it was a bad game plan because they didn't execute it great. That's just kind of how I view it. The good news is they're probably not going to have a game plan like that again, but they got to practice that stuff, get the chemistry down for when they do have that game plan again, they can convert. That's just kind of how I view it. So let's give the Broncos defense credit. They're a very good team. That's how I view all of this. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from y'all. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.